Hi, welcome to the Brief Book Reviews channel, otherwise known as An Old Guy Reviews the book that he's read this week. So what's the old guy read this week? Well, the book I've read this week is this one. It's called The Summer Guest by author Tess Gerritsen. It was released by Bantam as a hardback here in the UK on the 27th of March 2025. And I guess most people will recognise the author Tess Gerritsen for standalone novels and the very popular Rizzoli and Isles series. This, however, is the second outing for the Martini Club. The first one was called The Spy Coast, which I've reviewed on the channel, so have a look if you want to see that review. But this is the second outing for Maggie Bird and her friends Ingrid, Lloyd, Declan and Ben. They've all retired to Purity, Maine, a small town in Maine. They're all ex-CIA agents, and under the guise of a book club they meet every week, they call it the Martini Club. And for those who like their hardback editions, there's on this particular hardback edition, there's a little Martini Club motif on it. Back to the plot, he says. So Maggie and crew have this Martini Club where they basically keep an eye on things down in Purity, Maine. And as the title suggests, this is about the summer guests. It says on the strapline, don't trust any of them. In particular, this is about a family called the Conover family. They own a rather large property, which they call a cottage, but in fact it's a very large house. And it's called Moonview, and it's on Maiden Pond, named because of a maiden who once drowned there many, many years ago. The Conovers are here for a purpose this summer. They visit Moonview every summer, like lots of people come to Purity for the summer. But they've got a special purpose this year because the former patriarch of the family, George, has died. And he wishes that his ashes are spread on the mountains near where Moonview is. So the family are gathering to honour his request. We have Elizabeth, his widow, who's now the matriarch of the family, very stoic, very, very focused on keeping the family as a unit. And we have two brothers. We have Ethan, who's had one book published, teaches English literature, struggling to get his second book published. We've got his wife, Susan, and his adopted daughter, Zoe. His other brother, Colin, is a Wall Street boy, and he's there with his wife, Brooke, and their son, Kit. Kit's a bit of a quiet lad. Colin, Ethan's brother, is the opposite, and there's a little bit of sibling rivalry here because Ethan's the quiet, studious one. Colin has always been, up and at 'em, very confident lad, and hence, has grown into adulthood where he's very, very confident, and clearly there's a personality clash between the two brothers. So they're there to gather to spread George's ashes. There's a little bit of niggle going on between the family, but they're trying to get on together. And then one day there's a problem. Zoe, Ethan's stepdaughter, goes missing, and nobody can find her. Jo Thibodeau, the acting police chief, was called, and she said, well, very often, what happened? And they said, well, she went off with a local girl called Callie, who's the granddaughter of Maggie Bird's neighbour, Luther Young, and we haven't seen her since. But, she's a good swimmer. Maybe she's gone off swimming. But as time goes on, it becomes apparent that Zoe has gone missing. As I said, Joe, the acting police chief, is trying to find out what's going on. But clearly, this hasn't escaped the attention of the Martini Club. And Maggie and crew decide that they need to have a look at this because they can help the police. Joe, the acting police chief, is saying, look, come on, we need to draw lines here. You can't be all over this. Try not to interfere. And they say, yeah, of course, Joe, we won't interfere. And then very soon they're on it like a car bonnet, and Maggie and crew are investigating. So we had the disappearance of Zoe, and then one of Maggie's neighbour, Luther, his granddaughter was last seen with her, and all of a sudden, Luther is a suspect, and Maggie thinks there's no way that he could have kidnapped a young girl. So the tale then unfolds. So we have Maggie and the Martini Club trying to find out what's going on. We're trying all their sources to find out what's happened to Zoe, and there are several clues that are outlined as they go along. And then there's a body found in a lake, and everybody thinks of the worst, but in that lake, that body's not Zoe, it's another body. So thus we have a tale of the Conover family, who are wealthy, and they're also their friends who've got adjacent houses that seem to be mixed in with the Conovers. There's clearly some secrets in this Conover family, and clearly Maggie and crew need to find out what's going on here and help Jo solve the case. So it's a very well written mystery. You get engaged with the characters, and what I liked about this one, this is the second Martini Club adventure, and the Spy Coast was good. I enjoyed that, but I thought this was better because you've got to know the characters more. They've grown a bit, and in this one we get the Martini Club at the end of the book saying, maybe we got it wrong there, maybe we did this, and that's life. Not everything goes absolutely in a straight line and smoothly. So I thought that was good. That was the author making these people seem real, because they were admitting that maybe they should have spotted that, maybe they should have done that, and trying to say, well, next time we won't do that. So really enjoyed it. It's a good murder mystery, lots of secrets in the Conover family that are gradually unveiled. You don't know who the perp is until right at the end. So really good read. I enjoyed it. I'd give it 7 out of 10 any day of the week. I think that's probably it for this week's brief book review, but just one more mention. On eagle-eyed viewers will notice on the cover here it says, with a bonus short story, Lee Child and Tess Gerritsen. And there is a short story at the back of this book featuring good old Jack Reacher and Maggie Bird. Nice short story. Lee Child, Tess Gerritsen, what's not to like? You can't dislike a bit of Reacher. There is one small thing though, that story called Over Easy has been published before, and viewers will notice that I've reviewed this book earlier on at the end of last year, which is a collection of Lee Child's short stories called Safe Enough. And the short story that's in the back of this book is also in this book. So if you're a Reacher fan, you've probably already read it. But that's a minor point. Good read. Look forward to the next edition of the Martini Club Adventures, of which I'm sure there'll be one. So that's it for this week's brief book review. Thanks for watching. One thing I forgot to mention, the actual story is only 325 pages, so it won't take you long to read this, and if anything, maybe it should have been a little bit longer, but that's being picky. That's it for this week's brief book review. 10/10 till we do it again. Thanks for watching. Bye.